your soul at the edges of your eyes. It's corrosive, like acid. You got a demon, little man. And I don't like your face. It makes me want to do things to it.
please introduce yourself.
My name is Rick Habeeb. I play guitar and sing in Gray Skies Fallen, and play guitar in Buckshot Facelift currently.
So we're just outside of Saint Vitus Bar in Greenpoint, Brooklyn, and Gray Skies and Buckshot are playing tonight, and so, you know, Gray Skies are no strangers to the blog. I think I've written about you a handful of times.
Yes, and we really appreciate that. Definitely.
And so, you know, since this is a rare opportunity for me to be in New York, I figured I'd snag Rick for a few minutes and get him to talk about the new Gray Skies album.
Can't wait.
So is this the first show that you guys are playing since the album was released?
Yes. Last year, when we grabbed Joe Sanchi and Tom into the band, and we finished our lineup, we played 3 local shows. Actually, we played 1 local show in 2013 in Brooklyn, and we also played 1 show in Massachusetts and 1 show in Connecticut. 3 just like let's get to know each other kind of gigs last year, and this is the first show supporting the new record.
So is this the release party or the release show? Or?
Yes, we got our vinyl out here. Made the cut finally. We had a few little hiccups with the vinyl in the beginning, but we got them in on time. And we got some new shirts coming in today, too, so we're all happy.
When you say hiccups, do you mean manufacturing hiccups?
Yes, some of the test pressings came back a little, they would skip. And what we determined was that the stock, which the plant would get their test vinyl from, was a little warped. So it took a few times back and forth rejecting these test presses until we finally got some good ones, and we went ahead with the pressing. And we really thought we were going to miss the release date of April 29th and also tonight, which we're very happy we didn't.
So this is the first show that you're playing the new material, correct?
Yes, all these songs, the songs that we play tonight from the new record are the first time we've ever played them, and we're going to play a couple old tracks, just 1 or 2.
Are you anxious at all? Excited?
Actually, yes. I don't really get nervous for shows. Tonight, it just seems like there's a lot going on. You know, it's our new album. We're playing these songs for the first time. We want to see how they go over, and the album's gotten some good acclaim over the past couple weeks in the on the blogs and such. So we'd like to portray that live as closely as we can.
Yeah, the album has been getting some really good reviews, and we can talk about that in a little while. The new album is called The Many Sides of Truth.
Yes.
And I find it's a nuanced title, and what I find fascinating about it is it's a title that could equally apply to Gray Skies Fallen, because it's hard to paint Gray Skies with, you know, like, oh, you're a doom metal band, or you're melodic this, or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, Gray Skies goes through many different kinds of feelings and moods and, you know, almost genres. Like, you're very much a multifaceted band. Was that intentional?
When we first started, back, you know, talking 1996, it was a different ballgame. We wanted to put out doom records, and like My Dying Bride was our gods at the time. So if you listen back to our horrible demo from 96, we were called Eve of Mourning, and that demo was pretty bad, but it's all doom metal. And then the first record, The Fate of Angels, it was only a year after that, so it's interesting when I look back at it now to see how we've switched from originally this horrible doom band and then to put out the first album, which we still think is pretty good to this day. But we've never really tried to be one thing. I don't know if it's conscious, subconscious, whatnot, but it just comes out. All our influences always come out when we write, so we have a lot of influences, so it's going to be a lot of different sounds.
We should go back to the creation of the album. You guys self-financed and self-released this yourself.
Correct. As usual, we've done this every time. The last 2 albums we did were EPs, and we didn't release those physically. But this time we needed to, and we self-financed it. We paid for the recording. The most expensive thing, of course, was the vinyl, which is very, costly if you're an unsigned band. You couple it with the recording costs and the mastering and the vinyl, and then you deal with shipping all these promos out. It gets kind of pricey. But yeah, it's self-financed, and luckily, prior to release, Paragon Records, a local underground metal label based out of Long Island, heard the album and picked it right up, and they released it themselves with alternate cover art and on CD, jewel case format. So they put out 1,000 copies themselves, and we appreciate that greatly.
Is the Paragon release going to affect your Bandcamp release, or are they independent of each other?
They're totally independent. The only thing that we have with Paragon is they press X amount of CDs and they trade them and sell them, get the word out there for us. That's how we look at it. You know, we had everything set up prior to even meeting Paragon. We had Spotify set up and all these different in the Bandcamp, which has been great. All our vinyl sales so far have come through there. We've done pretty well over the past few weeks on Bandcamp. We love that site now.
Bandcamp is I'm a big promoter, and I've been kind of pimping promoter of Bandcamp, and I've been pimping out Bandcamp a lot too.
Yeah, I'm just discovering it.
DIY bands, yeah. It's a step up from like putting your songs up on YouTube, and you can actually pay the band, you know, if you want to order the album or order the CD and stuff like that.
Over the last few years, the only sales that we haven't really tried to push sales. Like our stuff has been free online for years, but you know, all our sales have come from Bandcamp in the last few months, and it's awesome. It's just building up daily, it seems.
Very cool. So, with the release of the new album and this being your first show in support of the new album, do you guys have plans to do like longer tours or?
Nothing currently. The problem is we're all older now. Figure. Not older. I mean, we're in our late 30s, so we all have jobs, and you know how the deal goes. So touring is going to be hard unless somebody says, okay, we're going to make it easy for you to tour, which I don't know if that's going to happen anytime soon. So what we like to do, though, is do a bunch of weekend runs up and down the East Coast. You know, if anything comes up like a fest anywhere in the country, we're no strangers to that. We played 3 Milwaukee Metal Fests in November to Dismember in San Antonio in 1999, and the March Metal Meltdowns. We'll play the fests, and we'll do good there because we've had experience there before. And but we're open to anything, even 2-week tour if all the pieces fall into place. Definitely.
Taking from me
back to the reviews of the album, because it's been getting really great reviews, but Grey Skies is a very unusual band. And I can see how people who, like, let's say music critics or people who listen to a lot of music would appreciate Grey Skies because of how unusual they are. How would you describe the average Grey Skies fan?
Somebody like me, really. I write music that I like to listen to, you know. So I see a lot of guys that are into the band that we all have the same kind of musical tastes. So you know, I'm not a prissy kind of music snob or anything like that, but you know, I like what I like, and it reflects in the music, I think. But our typical fan is someone that likes good music. That's how I like to look at it.
Okay.
You know?
I mean, you're still very much dealing with a metal audience, right?
Yes. I mean, our third record was, it was called Two-Way Mirror, and that's a very mellow album, but we didn't really support that record, or any other record we've done for that matter, but yeah, our audience is metal audience, and we're happy with that, absolutely. We're a metal band, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
We're always, even when we play mellow or trippy or do whatever we do, it's still rooted in metal at some point. It's going to get back there somehow.
Cool.
You know?
How far do you push it, like, when you guys write songs? Is there any time you say, oh, we can't use this for Grey Skies, like, this isn't metal enough, or this isn't Grey Skies enough?
Well, we do scrap songs. I mean, over the years, sometimes, you know, it takes us a while, or it did take, at one point it took us a while to put a record out. It would take us 3-4 years to put an album out. Now it seems to be every year and a half, which is a good clip. I like to do every year a new record. But, yes, once in a while you're going to have a couple songs that don't make the cut. And I remember jamming one song in particular, and I never liked it, you know, and I was just, what the fuck am I doing playing this song? And then it was gone. We never played it again. So, yeah, stuff gets thrown out. We don't really have extra songs. We never go into the studio with, like, you know, some bands, they have all, 15 songs and they have all these songs. And we go into the studio with what we have all the time. So we don't really have things laying around after we finish writing.
What's the writing process like? Do you write collaboratively, or do you write individually and bring stuff to the table? Yeah,
it's a mixture of both. We all have good PC and Mac setups at home, so we can record, send riffs to each other. We do it that way. Now, within the past week, we have officially gotten our own monthly rehearsal space for the first time in quite some time. Those are the times where we find we bang out quality stuff writing wise, because you're in this room for hours and hours and you got nowhere to go but write. Nothing to do but write, nowhere to go. So we're going to be in that room the next 6 months, and we're going to be writing a lot of shit. Yes.
What's the average Grey Skies rehearsal like? Are you guys very goal oriented? Like, okay, we have a show coming up, we have to get our set list down as tight as possible, or is it like, okay, let's play our songs and let's see where it goes, or let's jam for a little bit?
We're pretty much, if we have a show coming up, which we don't usually have, but we like to have more gigs, obviously. We go over the set, and as you're more familiar with the set, you're not going to need to do that over and over and over. So then you could write. Like, as far as this summer coming up and this year coming up, I could see a lot of both. Playing shows and writing at the same time, which you have to juggle. You have to, okay, here's a 3-hour practice. We'll work on the set for an hour. We'll do the set twice, and then the rest of it is writing. That's how we really do it. Yeah.
Okay. You mentioned that you got a rehearsal space for the first time in many years. Like, what was the change? Like, what made you decide we need to?
Everybody in this band, we look at Grey Skies and Buckshot kind of together because we share members. So you have 7 guys in both of those bands, and we are all spread out throughout New York, New Jersey, Long Island. We're spread out. So we look at Brooklyn as a central point. Brooklyn is getting and is very expensive. If you go down to Williamsburg, where we used to have a room, it was like $1,000 a month for, you know, we had to split it with 3 other bands, and it was hard to find our own time in that room, and it was a pain in the ass. We found a room for $600 a month, something that we could afford with just the 2 bands. We could go there anytime we want. We could stay as long as we want, and it's the best situation. It really is.
So it was really the economics.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, you know, it was economics and everyone's schedules. It's not only that we live far away, as everyone's got crazy shit going on, work-wise and lives, you know. So just getting everybody in the room together is hard sometimes, but we put our foot down and said, we're doing this, we're getting this room, you know, everyone's got to commit, you know, twice a week. It just has to be done. And that's what we do.
And was the Many Sides of Truth the result of that?
That album, well, this album, we had a room, monthly room for about 4 months last year, and we put together the record quickly. Yeah, I would say the 7 tracks on there, you know, 3 of them are kind of interlude type deals, but you know, the bulk of that album was written in about a month to 2 months in that room.
That's pretty fast.
Yeah. So that's why we want to get back in there and start writing again.
That might be a magic room.
Well, that room is gone. Now the new room is, we all got sick the first time. You could probably still hear it in my voice. Last week, we went in there for the first time, and 3 of us came out with colds. So we disinfected the shit out of that room the other day. So hopefully it will be a magic room. We don't have to get rid of it.
How prolific were you guys when you first started? Because I lived in New York for quite a bit, and even though like I knew of Gray Skies Fallen, and I think one of my friends was in your band for a brief period of time, or like played live with you guys or something.
Who's that?
Frank from Scar Culture.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Frank.
Like I never really got a chance to see you until last year. Like where were you guys playing most of the time?
Well, last year when you saw us, that was the first show we played in 7 years.
Ah.
So prior to that, we weren't doing anything, and this is my big problem. Like now we have the right guys in the band, taking nothing away from everyone else who was in the band prior, you know. But I think now the chemistry is right. Whereas we would go through, you know, a couple of years and sure, we would be active, we would go to practice, we would try to write stuff, but nothing was really happening. But now things are definitely on the uptick.
Okay. Were you guys mostly playing like Queens and
mostly Brooklyn? Okay. You know, this is our first gig in quite some time, so it's the Brooklyn. Brooklyn seems to have a bunch of good clubs. Acheron, Saint Vitus, you know, that's where it's at right now. Buckshot plays a lot in Manhattan, Long Island, a lot of Long Island.
I don't think people outside the city realize like how like the scene, like there's almost like a scene for each borough. So like, you know, if you're a much bigger band, you're probably going to play, you know, Irving Plaza or whatever.
Yeah.
Or, you know,
Webster Hall.
Webster Hall, yeah, exactly. But most of the bands are actually playing St. Vitus here, or even like the Knitting Factory or the Acheron, like you mentioned. Mm-hmm. So it's almost like you never, like whatever borough you're in, you've got like your own metal scene.
Sure, man. There's always, except Staten Island, where I'm from, there's nothing out there. You got nothing. We used to have a cool scene out there, you know, 30 years ago before I was a little tyke, but you know, Metallica played on Staten Island a few times. There was a little scene going on there, but
nice. Was there like a thrash and a hardcore scene?
Yeah, you know, that's where there was a Paramount Theater. It's a dilapidated, abandoned theater now, but Venom played there, Anthrax, Metallica, Slayer. It was, you know, a lot of early 80s, kind of 83.
Holy shit. Did you see any of those shows?
Hell no, I was 6 years old, but, you know, I was into the shit at the time. I'll tell you, been into metal my whole life, really.
From the heavens I seething and so clear. Removal of this doubt and fear. It's enticing, a perfect life. Be rid of conflict, be rid of strife. It's my freedom that I need. Close me out and watch me bleed. Here's a chance to start anew. It's time to seize the day. Time to seize the day. Flying high, lost the sense of time. Broke the chains and threw them down. Another try. Now I've got it right. Leave the same without a sound. You truly wonder why I chose to leave you here. You never really tried to understand the fear.
It seems like no matter what was big at the time, Gray Skies would probably not have fit in with whatever was popular. Like, you guys have always been kind of like a square peg.
Right.
You know what I mean?
A fringe on the outside, you know.
Is that purposeful? Like, do you guys strive to be different from whether it was popular?
No, not really. I mean, I remember, you know, when we were playing these metal fests I spoke of earlier, early 2000s, late 90s, metal wasn't a big thing at this time. You know, it was shit upon, and you know, but we were playing it and we were loving it, and as far as our style within metal scenes and stuff, you know, we just are what we are, and I think we could fit on. You know, you put us on a death metal show, I don't know, but you put us on we could play black metal, we could play doom, we could, you know, we could do all these different things in our music, so we could, I think, fit in on a lot of different kind of bills, which I think adds to the versatility.
Has anybody reached out to you and been like, hey, we're doom metal, you're doom metal?
Well, I'm trying to put together a show myself. I've been trying. You know, a big doom show. You know, I got a couple bands in mind I've talked to. There's interest there. So hopefully we could pull something together late summer of this year. I don't want to say any bands' names in case, you know, they're not really that interested and they're just telling me that they are. But you know, so hopefully, you know, personally, hopefully I could put something together. I know a couple promoters now. I could talk to these guys and see, hey, look, I have this show. You interested? And odds are they would be.
Let's get back to the album, because there are songs there that are very different from what you guys, well, not very, that have pushed the boundaries of what you guys have done before, and are also very different from what other metal bands are doing. Did you guys feel, I don't know, emboldened? Did you feel like driven to push yourselves further than you've done before?
Not for this album, but I believe we have this kind of feeling right now as we speak, as far as our live performance and the next album. Now that we know, we're familiar with each other, the new lineup, how we write with each other, The Many Sides of Truth, while it's a great album in my opinion, I look at it as like a demo as far as this is what we're going to do. The next album is going to be the album with the new band, and you know, taking nothing away from the new, you know, Many Sides of Truth in my opinion, but I just look at it like that.
Is this a rebirth for Gray Skies?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I thought this band was dead quite many times over the years. You know, I thought we were finished a lot. And Sal, myself, and Craig, we've kept it together somehow. You know.
You guys need to start promoting this as the reunion, since the reunions are so popular.
Right, sure. We've broken up and gotten back together so many times. It's the 15th reunion of this band. Yeah.
You should do a show just playing the first album from beginning to end.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's stuff that I would love to do. I mean, we do have a backlog of material now. We could pull stuff out and do cool things. I want to do eventually the track Introspective from the last album is 21 minutes long. I want to play that live.
I'm glad you brought that up because these long songs that have like these different, almost like movements to it. It's almost closer to classical music than it is to rock music. How difficult is it to compose that, and once you have it the way you want it, to rehearse it and get it tight for a live performance?
Well, going back to that Introspective song, that song started being written, I guess, 2001. It was put together. There was a totally different version of it over the years. It was half of it chopped out. It was about 12 minutes long at one point. We got rid of half of it, and then we added. So there was blueprints throughout the years for that particular song that we just kept putting together. At that point, when we were going to go record, we were only a 3-piece. So we said, okay, we know these riffs. We know this song now. We've been playing it for years. So let's just do it. And that's usually how the long songs come about. But our new guitarist, Joe Sanchi, he loves long songs. And this dude writes like long shit without even trying. So Ritual of the Exeter from the new album is a Joe song. That's the first track, and it's about the longest one.
Is there a point when you guys are rehearsing a song, one of the longer songs, where you're like, can we take a break in the middle and then come back to it?
Well, if you ask Sal, our drummer, he would very much like to take a break during every song that we play in the middle of it and then get back to it.
His problem is he's too good of a drummer. Like, he needs to be like one of these like sludge drummers who just like hits like a note every 5 seconds.
Right, yeah, the quarter notes.
vocals are also very diverse in reflection of the music. When did you start realizing that you could do different kinds of vocals?
I was like thrust into the vocal part of this band. When we first started, our original bass player was a singer, and that didn't go too well. So I was like, look, I'm not really a singer, but maybe I can hold a tune somewhat. So I stepped in, and I never really kind of developed my voice, which is my fault, and I still, kick myself like I should go get lessons and hone my craft, which I've never done. So that kind of upsets me now that I'm thinking about it now. But I realized over the years I could sing somewhat, so I could do different things. If it's clean, if it's growls, I try to do different kind of growls, for different moods. Same with the clean vocals. People say I project a lot, so like sometimes I'll ease off and won't be as powerful or whatnot. So yeah, I try to do some different things vocally.
I actually kind of assumed that you had singing lessons or came from a different kind of musical background, because the clean vocals are very powerful. They're not. You can sort of tell. I'm going to throw a name out there, and if you don't want to comment, like, you don't have to. But Catatonia, when they first started doing the clean vocals, it wasn't particularly powerful, and you could sort of tell, he was kind of learning as he was doing it. And now his vocals are really great.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, Ackerfeld wrote all the lyrics and the vocal lines for him. Yeah. I believe on that first Discouraged Ones album. So Total Evolution, and the guy I like. As far as a guy that started singing, wasn't that good, then took the initiative and got really good, is fucking Kavanaugh from Anathema. He, if you listen to Eternity, it was like the first record where he didn't do any death vocals. Well, he was on the album before. It was his first album singing.
Silent Enigma?
Yeah, Silent Enigma. And he did some death vocals on that record, but Eternity was the first clean album, and it is what it is, but you could hear over the years this guy went and got much better. So I should really aspire to do that, but for some reason I don't.
You mentioned two of the Peaceful Three. We started talking about how My Dying Bride was a big influence on Gray Skies when you started off, and we were just talking about Anathema. Two of my favorite bands, by the way.
Yeah.
When those bands started evolving and started like really branching out away from traditional doom metal or doom death or whatever it was they started off, did that influence your decision, like, oh, maybe we can expand our sound as well?
No, I think when we put out our first album, we said, okay, we have like a sound now. This is what we are. The time between the first and second album was about 3 years, recording wise. It took us 3 years to record the second album, which was a lot different than the first album. It was more of melodic death metal, I believe, in my opinion anyway. But we don't, we don't look at what other people are doing and try to adapt or anything like that. We just do whatever comes natural. Absolutely was upset at that My Dying Bride album, 34.788. First song was good. I like the Whore, the Cook, and the Mother. That was a decent song, but that album, I was like, oh man, it's like when when your favorite band puts out a piece of shit and it's like, oh. But I guess Anathema has no bad albums in my opinion.
Yeah.
But,
and that's another band that was quiet for a long time, almost 7 years.
Yeah, 7 years.
And like when they came back, it was almost this like whoa, this is a very different Anathema.
Yeah.
But those last two albums were just incredibly strong.
Yeah, those are two of my favorite albums of those years that they came out. Definitely, I already pre-ordered the new one on vinyl, so I'm waiting for that.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen them?
Yes. Well, we played with them in Milwaukee.
Oh, excellent.
2000. And 99 and we played with them twice. Well, when I say we played with them, we were on the same bill as them at the two Milwaukee Metal Fests that they played, and those were awesome. They were amazing. And then we saw them last year at somewhere in the city. I forget the club, wherever they played in Manhattan. It was incredible too. So yeah, they're up there as far as my favorite bands ever.
I guess we're winding up a little bit. Like, do you want to talk about like what you're working on for the next album?
Right after this show, in fact, we pretty much made a statement to ourselves that we're going to hit the studio and start writing. It's May right now. We would like to have the album written and ready to go as far as get in the studio by New Year's, assuming, nothing stops us. I mean, I don't see any reason why we can't do that. That's more than half a year of constant jamming and tweaking and things. It can be done, and I think it will be done. I like Iron Maiden is my favorite metal band ever. If you look back in the 80s, they were putting records out every year.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to do. I mean, I don't see any reason. I'm getting old. I don't see any reason why I shouldn't. Fuck it.
Is that what drives you?
Yeah, like right now, I just want to be. There was so much inactivity in this band over the years that now we're productive, and I want it to be balls out, all the time. So, I want to be putting records out every year. That's my goal. Quality, not just churning out garbage just to put out an album. But I think with our experience and the guys we have now, it's going to be quality regardless.
And is there anything that you would have liked to have done for the Many Sides of Truth that you'd like to that you weren't able to do that may be on the next album?
Actually, no. I mean, like I said, when we go to the studio, it's really all the material we have. So from the end of that record, we've written a couple things, but we haven't. There wasn't anything that said, "Oh, we wish we could have done that." The studio is a different beast. Like, a lot of things happen in the studio. It comes up on the spot. Like, for example, that song "Isolation Point" on the Many Sides of Truth. I was tuning the guitar, and that song it was written in 15 minutes, and then I recorded it, and that was it. So you don't know what's gonna happen, So crazy shit like that could happen. A whole song is done out of nowhere when you're just tuning the guitar. So anything can happen when you record an album.
Very cool. So maybe sometime around this time next year, we'll have the release party for your next
hell
album.
yeah, that would be great. Definitely can't wait, man. If we're still unsigned and we're doing it ourselves, it's gonna take some time, because now that we've done vinyl, we always want to do vinyl because it sounds so good and it just looks so good, but it's so expensive. So if we're doing this again on our own, it's gonna take some time to recoup financially. But if somebody picks us up and is willing to do what's necessary, we're ready to go. Been ready.
Besides Paragon, have you guys been shopping yourselves around?
Actually, no, not since we've put this out. But there are a bunch of. Let me change that. Yes, a label that I've known, a contact with. He requested we send him the vinyl. And I sent them 2 copies, which was what they asked for. And one of the guys is coming down tonight, so
very cool.
We're hoping that he likes what he hears.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I wrote a review. I like the album very much. Most of the reviews I've seen have been very positive. Mm-hmm. I think it's just really a matter of getting the music to the people who will appreciate it. And once that happens, I don't see why you guys wouldn't get signed.
Right. I mean, I appreciate that. And what I found over the past 3-4 months, now that we're dealing with a PR guy, it is night and day. I mean, this guy is awesome. He can get the word out for us. He lets people know what we're doing and stuff. And prior to that, we had nothing. So, I mean, it's just me sitting on my computer. Hey, dear Blabbermouth, can you run my press release, please? And they used to, but then they stopped. And, once they stopped running the press releases, what are we going to do? How is anybody going to find out about anything? And it's just hard to, when you're a band and you just have nothing just to get your word out there based on your music itself. But now we got some people behind us, PR-wise, and it's awesome. It's night and day.
What about social media? Has having a Facebook page or Twitter or anything like that helped you?
Recently, I mean, Facebook, it's great as far as it's, 1 billion people on the planet are on Facebook, but they limit the pages so much these days where only a certain amount of people actually see what you're posting. It defeats the whole purpose. I'm like, okay, we only have 1,600 people on our Facebook. That's not great. But we like those 1,600 people to see what we have to say when we're trying to say something. And if they don't, it's like, what's the fucking point of this? But Twitter's good. You know, I find, you know, we have accounts everywhere. Instagram, which we don't really use too much, but, you know, the Facebook page is fun. We post funny pictures. You know, we do stupid shit on there. And, you know, we have contests for the new album. So it's okay. But, yeah, definitely is much easier today than it was a few years ago getting your information out there, thanks to social media.
I mean, you guys seem like the very much like the DIY word of mouth kind of band, where like
Right.
you know, like once you mobilize your base, so to speak.
That's what we're hoping, man. We're hoping people start listening to the stuff and word gets out. That's basically all we can ask for. You know, we look at our albums as our resume, you know, when you're going for a job or something like that. We got 6 records, or, yeah, 6. Jesus. And, you know, that's just like, hey, people can go listen to that anytime they want and see what we're about.
And in closing, do you have anything to say to your fans or to your potential fans or anybody who hasn't checked out the album yet?
Well, you can check it out anywhere online, really. Bandcamp is the preferred place. We have, this record comes in 3 formats. It comes in 12-inch vinyl, multicolored vinyl. It comes in a CD digipack, also, which was the band's release. And it also comes in the jewel case, which is Paragon's release. That version contains the lyrics, where the digipack didn't have the lyrics, so that's the only slight difference. We have those things. We have some shirts, you know, the general things, and you can find all that stuff on our Facebook, on our Bandcamp, or on our website, which is in the process of being totally overhauled, and redone. So we're gonna have a nice shop on there, so people can actually buy things and whatnot. So yeah, that's about it.
And what's the website?
That would be grayskiesfallen.com.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Rick.
Hey man, thanks a lot for having me.